I feel like I need to invest in some type of wipe to get this camera to show just a little bit clearer. Just a little bit clearer. Yeah, that didn't really help, but okay. So, got my notes. Got my notes. Not really notes, just names and things of that nature. First movie, Up in Smoke. Now, this, I feel like I have a, I feel like I have a good opportunity right now to just expand, um, to expand what my spotlight, my spotlight movies. I feel like I have a chance here to do that, but to tell you the truth, um, I am uh, subconsciously, or maybe not, but I'm gravitating towards movies of my youth, and this movie, Up in Smoke, it's another one of those movies that basically raised me. I spent so much time watching this movie. I mean, over and over and over again, even to the part where they had the matching album for this movie, because um, this is I was about to call it old Hollywood, but it's not necessarily old Hollywood. This is just this is definitely a generational thing here. It's a different time period. Um, how you youngsters say, get into the bag. Uh, Tommy Chong and Cheech Marin are comedians, and during the release of this movie, I think this was their first movie. During the release of this movie, comics still had um, comics still had of course, live shows and uh, TV appearances, things of that nature, to get their name out there and to make money. But they also had albums. Um, it's another way. It's another form of. Just another form of. It's just that was just part of the business back then. Like I know, I'm just throwing stuff out there, but that's from my limited knowledge of comedians. But anyway, this movie uh, is pretty funny. It follows two stoners on it follows two stoners on a journey basically to get high. I mean, but the thing is, they get high all through the movie, so it's not like they're just searching for one single high, but they get multiple highs during the movie. It's just some of the things that they run into. It's the journey. The journey is part of the journey is the focal point in this particular story. Uh, there's some parallels with that along in real life, because life itself is a journey, and that's the whole fun of it, from my perspective. Um, but let me try and give an overview of this movie. So you got two stoners. They start out by giving a little bit of background of where these two guys are coming from. One's coming from kind of upper, not even upper middle class, like well-to-do family, but in a lot of cases, believe it or not, the child of parents who um, may have not come from where they're at now. Maybe they inherited their wealth, maybe they earned their wealth, but the fact of the matter is they have wealth now. Uh, I want to say it's probably 5 times out of 10, maybe 6 times out of 10. Maybe may not even be that high. Maybe 1 out of 10. But the fact of the matter is, sometimes their children they go astray. They get involved with the wrong crowd. They get involved with by the wrong crowd. I mean, they get involved with violent people. They become violent themselves. They get involved with drugs, and this is a look at that, but kind of like a satire, I guess. And then there's a look at somebody who's basically, for lack of a better term, an immigrant, and their experience. And these two guys come together. They come together by chance. This is when hitchhiking was not illegal, one, and two, not really thought of as a bad thing. Serial killers, believe it or not, were actually a new thing at the time that the release of this movie, and I think America was still pretty lost in the sauce, wearing the rose-colored glasses. Uh, the Vietnam War had just recently ended, so I'm assuming there was an uptick in violence in America. Maybe I'm getting too real. I should just be focused. I should just try and focus on the movie itself. I don't know what I'm thinking about today. I don't know what I'm thinking about today. Excuse me, but it's been a few weeks that the world's been in the state it's been in, and uh, I'm doing my best. I think that's the one thing everybody needs to understand. You have to do your best in this time, um, and I need a little bit of an escape. So I'm uh, going towards this movie. It's a good movie for that because it's packed with so much humor, um, and of course the chemistry between the two main characters is what sells it. Um, the funniest, I think the funniest instant in this movie is when they run into like the head. I guess he's like the head detective for the for the drug task force or whatever. They have a drug dog. The drug dog, because they wind up getting a van that's made entirely out of like liquefied marijuana or something like that. Liquefied marijuana that gets like sprayed into body panels on a vehicle. The dog smells it and winds up like basically overdosing and dying. But before that, they're at the border and they have to ditch a very large, what do they call it, a joint, not a blunt, but very large joint, and it falls into a station wagon full of nuns of all things. They wind up strip searching the nuns. It's all type of hilarity, but the two main characters' interaction with the three drug agents is what really makes the movie. I think it's been that type of scenario has been played out in so many movies, and I think they do it best. I'm not 100% if they were the first to do it, but they do it really well. I mean, the type of humor that comes from these five characters uh, is pretty remarkable. I have to say. Um, Always leaves me laughing. They're back and forth. Um, of course, there's they need women. They're heterosexual, so they find a really attractive one and a all right friend, and they get into more hijinks and uh, close. I'm jumping all around the movie, I know, but it's really a good movie. I'm not gonna sit here and recommend that people watch it because, like I said, it's something from my youth that basically raised me. It brings back a lot of nostalgia for me. I enjoyed the movie. I know I haven't said too much about it. I know I've been all over the place, but I'm gonna try and knock it out in these last couple minutes here. So basically, two stoners on a mission to get high. Their first stop is the first thing is you get introduced to both characters and their background. Immigrant, well-to-do family. They meet. Um, they bond over some drugs. They have a court. They have a court appearance. They get back to Cheech's house. Then they realize they have more. Well, they realize they had more in common than before. So they're both into music. They start playing. They instantly start playing on a band. Try to get a gig, and then they get deported. They get deported back to Mexico, and then they wind up getting a van that's made out of marijuana. Bring it back. Like I said, the nuns and their dog, and then they find the two girls, and then they come back and they decide to go to this gig. And what do you know? The gig offers a lot of money if they win it. So they go down there and they're running back and forth with these three drug enforcement agents, and there's two guys trying to find a vehicle because they need to get the vehicle to sell it, but they're not like tough guys. You know what I mean? They're not gunmen or shooters, if how the younger generation would call it. They're kind of like businessmen. It's all in joking and all in fun. They wind up winning the no, did they? I forget did they win the event or did they come in second place? I feel like they came in second place. I don't think they won the event, but it really got them thinking that they could go further than that. It's just a classic piece of cinema. It's a piece of cinema history, I believe. I know that may be a stretch to some people. They're like, well, it doesn't really deserve that. But like I said, it has nostalgic value for me. I did my best to try to explain it. I know it's all over the place, but it's only the first review of the day.